I mean, the race was like a little bit more like a battle for the lead, but not really. It's like the top two was within a second for the vast majority of the race. Yeah, we see a couple of big wrecks and some people making moves that they may or may not should have at a track like Bristol. But it's a pretty loud racetrack, so you're supposed to expect these things when you're at the short track itself.
All right. As you finished that statement, YouTube finally realized we were live, but it was very unfortunate. But yeah, Bristol obviously a very difficult track. I think it's the smallest track that the series goes to. But with 44, but especially with 44 cars, two more than what most series run, it is a bit. It makes it a little bit more difficult. But as I have the results from first to 20th up, what was like? How would you rate each of your team performances in the race? We'll start with you, Smart, then go to Jay afterwards.
I mean, qualifying was okay. I mean, I don't know what happened with my car. Highly assume we failed inspection because I'm sure we were top 10 before that. And then I don't know what happened with my car after this. Like, it didn't want to go. It didn't want to make progress at all. So I don't know what happened at all. I just know Friesen originally was maybe that pack, but the other two were running decently. Like nobody was really in contention at all, which is shocking when it counts the last few seasons. And we had at least one car always contending. No, we were not top three all the time, but we were at least top 10. And we haven't really seen that lately at all. So, other than that, I mean, the wreck was a determined thing that sealed the fate because it took out probably the most consistent cars that we had. And for Friesen, he finished alright. He finished inside the top 10 after the wreck. But realizing where he is in the standings right now, that's very uncharacteristic for the team itself. And it seems like we are beginning to get an effect similar to Roush Fenway Racing in real life NASCAR. They had a 5-6 car team, they were dominant, and then once they had to be be like tacked by a 4 car rule, they start to perform less and less. And now that's what's going on with my team apparently. Like ever since we got hit with the 4 car rule, things just spiraled down from there. To be honest.
Yes, and as you mentioned the points, as you guys that are watching this can see on my screen, as these guys give their comments, I am doing the season 4 points because obviously since the Bristol was done in a live stream, can't really didn't can't really show the points because that's done with editing magic. But yeah, Fitz, what was your reaction to how your team performed in the Bristol race?
Well, for all four of our cars, we had I think good qualifying runs. I'm not sure who was slowest out of the four, but when the race went on, Ancha had his troubles, and then Gio and Steinbach just didn't get up to the pace that we thought we were going to get from them too. And then Jay obviously just does what he does, just does his fine and gets the win. So, uh, I mean, yeah, I wish Peter didn't give on that wreck or whatever happened on, but all in all, for the other Ferrari cars, it was pretty much satisfying for our end. So,
Yes, and yeah, there was a couple of obviously bad wrecks on one caused by some cars that were slow. One was Peter Onjak, who was struggling mightily, and in the race because something's wrong with that engine. I assume he finished 23 laps down. So, Fitz, did you ever find Did you guys find the problem with Onjak's car?
Now there was engine issues all the way around. At the end, we had to pull in the pit lane and just retire the car. It was piston, spout spray, and all of that. The motor that blew. So I hired for him, but it is what it is. It's racing. There's nothing you can control mechanical wise or whatever. So yeah, I felt bad for him.
Yes, and the second caution was caused by Cesar Chavez, who after getting involved in the first incident came down on you, Cody, in the race, and just want to know how you're feeling after that wreck.
I mean, I just felt like that ever since Cyrus Magee left the team due to a 4-car rule, apparently took the best of the talent from us. It looks like something happened there.
Yeah, okay. First I would no comment on the 4-car rule thing, but yeah, teams have an off season, once in a while, but this is only 4 races in. To be fair, I mean your team could just catch lightning in a bottle once again going into Martinsville. So I wouldn't say well, first of all, I wouldn't say the season is lost. So there is still room to be to hope. I mean, you got obviously your team won the season 3 championship. Here, you guys won the year last year. You guys won all of the rewards last year, Cody. So I wouldn't just write this season off completely. I mean, first of all, Carter did get 6th in this race, so yeah. And no comment from Cody Smart on that. But
What was the question?
oh, it was just me just making a comment on my bad. But basically, what it was is like I don't think you should be too hard on your team performance right now because like I just said, you guys won all the rewards last year: the driver championship, the owners championship, the rookie of the year. So yeah, you lost a good driver with Cyrus Magee, but it's some fault has to go on the other members for not doing not really up to snuff, up to performing.
Yeah, it's like we got rid of King Heart 2, I think, this year as well. We lost Cyrus Magee, we lost King Heart. Like, we cut it from King Heart out, possibly. But, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the team at the moment. It's almost like we were good at 5 and it just so faded off. Like, the best driver's probably not even in the chase lineup right now.
The season has been a lot more surprising that I, thought it was going to be. I thought maybe this season was going to be dominated by, you know, the teams that we thought, the teams that we saw dominate last year. Obviously, the top two are in the call right here with me. But it's been surprising. We've seen some, lower on the totem pole teams, be able to have drivers as of right now in as of last point calculation, um, in the top 16, and I'm currently doing the season 4 points. But it's it. This has always been the nature of the series. If you are consistent enough, um, you can be in the chase, and this series has always had a lot of good teams. We've always seen a variety of drivers from all the teams, for a couple of weeks in a row, run up in the top 10, run up in the top 5, and we've seen, drivers on, the top teams kind of struggle. That's because there's so many drivers, and all of these cars have a chance to win. And when you have 44 cars that have a chance to win, someone's going to be first, someone is going to be last, and it does suck if your car is the one that is last and at the rear of the field. But just as just as quickly you can be at the your car can be at the rear of the field, it can equally as quickly be in the front of the field. And that's what I think is good about the series. I want to know if you guys think that is good about this series. Fitz?
Yeah, it's good for this series.
Smart? Your opinion on that?
For the series itself, I think it's going in some good shape right now. Yeah, but basically that's my opinion at the moment. I think we're making some progress. And I think we'll see some competitive racing later in the season, but not now, as you can see.
Yeah, and I know, after saying that, there probably would be people that would hear that and be like, "Oh, what's the point of having a racing series where anyone can win?" My response to being that would be like, "What? Like, why wouldn't that be a good thing?" And and that's kind of what makes it different from other racing series in NASCAR in general, because other racing series like this on YouTube, they have the typical top teams, which would be your two teams, and then they got guys on the bottom, and yes, that the series kind of throws that realistic aspect out the window. A new team just jumping in, can go out and win the championship like Smart's team did last season, but it also gives hope to any newbie, driver or team owner or both, that wants to join the series, because if because it has that mentality of like everybody has a chance to win in every single race. It's just, are you lucky enough? And and that's why I think it makes it more fun. And yeah, like I said, it does suck if your luck is shit and you're in the bottom for a few races. But like I said, luck is very chaotic. Like you could go from having shit luck to flipping the switch immediately and you having good luck. It's it's something that you can't please everybody, but it's what I found works the best. If you give everybody, a chance to get a win, and and everyone has a chance to be that consistent and make the chase. I know it's no one really gets really that frustrated and get bogged down by everything. So would you both agree or disagree with that?
I should for that. To be honest, going from shit luck to miracle luck, I totally agree on that assessment.
I mean, like, this is what's been about. They're like the dramatic shifts in teams and whatnot. It's like last season we've seen teams with perfect combinations and won so many races and everything like that. So I can possibly see this now being shattered into a whole bunch of new teams winning. And now we can see the rise of some, decline of others.
Yeah, and well, this what I thought possibly might be smart venting is kind of me venting. Oh, this after show is taking an unexpected turn in that end. But the next race is Martinsville. What is both of your expectations for Martinsville? We'll start with you, Cody.
Martinsville, I expect similar short track mayhem. Because Martinsville and Bristol are very similar racetracks to themselves. So I kind of do expect things to rise up in that regard.
Fitz? What do you expect from Martinsville?
I agree with Cody about Martinsville going to be a short track first flyer, and drivers will be pissed off and all that. For my team's expectations, we just go out, just do what we can do best out there. I know Jay has some success there in the past. Same with Steinbach and Gio. Peter hasn't had that success yet, but for all four of our cars, we expect a good result from all four.
Yes, and if you were to make a prediction on who you think will win the race, who would you think would win the race, other than obviously someone on both of your teams?
For me, there's a lot of good short track drivers out there in this series. I'm gonna go with Carter Friesen.
I mean, this is basically a toss-up here, like a huge toss-up on who can possibly win the race. But if I have to go by consistency of the current drivers, I can possibly see somebody like Allison Rhodes finally bringing home the win.
Yes, and this is a little bit difficult decision to make. As I am showing on my screen, the points from race 3. As you can see, who was currently in the chase after race 3, and yeah, there's a lot of drivers that could win this race, obviously. But I would have to say, when it does come to road courses, I would have to give it to. I'm gonna pick Peter Ronjak. Martinsville is where he got it turned around in season 3. The first, I think, 4 races in season 3, on Jack, he was at the bottom of the points. And then at Martinsville is when he turned it around with a surprise third. Once again, on Jack is having a slow start. This time, after the first 3 races, he's, he had he was 20th in points, and finishing 44th at Martinsville. He's obviously going to fall in points from 28th. I don't know where he's going to fall yet, but once again, Martinsville, 5th race on Jack. He's a good short tracker. I think on Jack could once again turn his season around and get the win at Martinsville, and that would give Fitzwater Racing already a 3rd win of the season. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with on Jack. I think history is going to repeat itself. So yeah. And to know that prediction makes you happy, Fitz. But yeah, that's weird. Two people. Cody, did you pick? I already forgot. Did you pick Fitz driver?
I picked. I think I picked Rhodes.
Yeah, he picked.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Someone other than a driver on your team. Who do you think could win?
Cyrus Magee.
All right. That's for Aaron Lucas's team. So who would you say is gonna be a dark horse? Not necessarily win, but just be a dark horse, and obviously pick someone that's not on your team, for obvious reasons.
I'm gonna go with Rick Witt. That's my dark horse.
I'm probably going to trigger a lot of people when I say this, but I'd probably pick Nathan Ormond as the dark horse.
That was perfect timing. As you can see on my screen, I am doing his points after race 4. Amazing timing. I don't know if you were just watching my screen and you just picked Ormond. I don't know what. But yeah, Cody being second out here.
His name right at the gate, and that's when I said that I'm probably end up triggering a lot of people. I know I think Fitzy triggered.
I don't. People. What do people not get triggered about it these days? But yeah. Dark horse. Who do I pick as a dark horse? Huh. This is gonna be interesting. Let's see. I don't know if he's gonna still be in the chase when I get done with the race 4 points, but he seems to put himself in the dark horse position a lot in other series, most notably the ASCA. I'm gonna say Mr. Everyone's favorite, no confidence, Jack Porkins as the dark horse.
I almost decided to pick Jack Porkins.
Not bad dark horse pick, Chris.
Yeah, yes, thank you. I know everything. But yeah, so after Martinsville, just gonna show the rest of the schedule after Martinsville. The schedule may change. I don't know which tracks are like more than 42 cars yet, but as you can see, after Martinsville, as of right now, Mallet Motorsports Park, which is Australia race number 2. I don't know if that track is going to like more than 42 cars yet. But then we got Las Vegas, Texas, the Dodge Motor Dome, New Hampshire, Atlanta, Road America, Watkins Glen, Talladega, Dover, Sonoma, and we end off in Kansas. Where do you think is the best places for your teams to win, Fitz?
Well, nobody's best surprise. Road courses and possibility of Talladega for our team.
Cody, where do you think is your team's best places to win of the remaining races?
Depending on qualifying, I'd say Sonoma.
And since I am the team owner of NTX Motorsports, which has Benyacko, Roush, Kurtis, and Harrison, I think the best places for my team to win are probably going to be Vegas, Texas, and Kansas. The reason why I say those is my team seems to perform the best when it comes to mile and a halves. Obviously, that was shown already this season with Scott Roush ICC winning at Chicagoland, and I don't know if and this actually is a good segue into once again the All-Star Race format, which I forgot to put up here on the schedule, but I will do it probably after this. But the All-Star Race format, I know I talked about this in the first Aftershow, but I'm just going to redo it here because it's been a while. It's been over a month. And Cody, I don't think you heard the All-Star Race format. But the All-Star Race format is going to have a bit of a change. With the only change being we could potentially have 17 cars in the chase, not 16. That because the reason why we might have 17 cars, not 16, is because I want to reward the drivers who make it into the top 16 on points by having all those guys in the chase locked in, and then the 17th car is if a non-top 16 person wins the All-Star Race, they're in, and everything else with the All-Star Race, like the fan vote and everything, that will remain the same, where it's the top 3 people who in the fan vote who didn't race their way into the All-Star Race, they will move in. So don't know where the All-Star Race is going to be yet. I would like some input, maybe from anyone who watches this later on, or as well as the 2 team owners in the call with me. What do you think the All-Star Race should be?
Possibility of a non-chase driver that could win the All-Star Race, that could get in chase. I like that idea, like we discussed in the first stream. So
If I'm thinking about an All-Star Race, I would probably say a track, something like... That's a pretty good question. Maybe a racetrack almost like Chicagoland, for example. I don't know about Kentucky. I've watched an All-Star Race before from Kansas, and it looked pretty good to me. Let me check. What else are possible good races that we can do?
As someone who's tried to make Kentucky work in this series before I've had seasons start, Kentucky is not the greatest track, even with 42 cars. Kentucky, I was really disappointed that I couldn't have Kentucky be in season 3. I was originally planning on having Kentucky be the season 3 finale as well as season 4 finale if it worked in season 3, which obviously it didn't because it didn't even show. But yeah, Kentucky, not really the best racetrack. There's some glitches. The cars will run in the grass and run on the apron, and they'll go through the grass while going in and off on pit road. So Kentucky is a sad no, which is obviously if someone who is in the Kentucky Speedway area. But as I just got done with with Addison Steinbach's points as of race 4. After race 4, and I fully believe Steinbach is still our points leader. And I know Fitz is probably cheering now on the inside.
Oh no. Let's be honest, he probably is cheering.
He's cheering silently, and he broke his mic, and that's why we can't hear it. Yes, the reason why I'm immediately saying I'm a firm believer in Steinbach currently still being the points is he had a pretty good points gap to both Benyacko, Foster, and Campbell. It was pretty much 20 points, and he did not finish 20 spots behind those three guys. Actually, Benyacko and Foster finished behind Steinbach in race 4, so I can say Steinbach is still our points leader after race number 4. So Steinbach, if you're watching this, you're still the points leader. Woo. So since I want to keep this going, obviously, as we've only been streaming for half an hour. No, let's try if we can see if we can get this to an hour. But so there was some NASCAR news. Let's talk about some NASCAR news. Daniel Hemrick fired from Richard Childress Racing. What was your reaction to that, Fitzwater?
I had no comment when I first heard it or when I saw it on Twitter. I had absolutely no comment. I had a pretty bad gut feeling that he was going to get let go for Tyler Reddick. I thought they were going to go to the free car team, but they didn't have the funds to actually bring that 31 back. And I had a pretty suspicious feeling that Hemrick was going to get let go. I just knew all hell was going to break loose.
Smart. What was your reactions to that sad NASCAR news?
I was expecting other drivers to get fired from teams before him, like Daniel Suarez from Stuart Haas Racing, Todd Gillen from Kyle Busch Motorsports, because they did not make the playoffs. I may or may not would have expected Jimmy Johnson to announce retirement before hearing that. So this is probably unexpected at the moment in time. Like, I was expecting other things to happen. So I will call it at the moment if, in a way, they'll say, like, in a week, like, Suarez would not return to Stuart Haas Racing, then that'll be right for Chris Buescher to go in. So we have to wait and see what happens later, but I highly assume a whole bunch of silly season things. I can go on with that, but obviously for the sake of the topic, like, no, not right now.
Yeah, and I was, I wasn't surprised. Richard Childress choosing, obviously his grandkids over drivers that could be good, and yeah, I know Suarez, not Suarez. I'll talk about Suarez in just a minute, but Hemrick not winning a race in Xfinity or trucks. Yeah, I know that's probably a factor to why he was booted, but like, it was only Hemrick's first year in the Cup Series. How long has the Dillon Bros been there? Like, yes, I know, like, I know a lot of people have been saying Austin Dillon should have been bidden, but I'm saying Austin Dillon should have stayed. I fully believe Ty Dillon should have gotten kicked out of the 13. Before anyone says, "Oh, that's Jermaine Racing," do you really think Childress is not going to give Ty Dillon good equipment like Austin? Well, the best equipment that he has. Yeah, I think Ty Dillon should have gotten booted. He hasn't done anything in his seasons. He's run 25th on down in points, and yeah, it's just overall Ty is not Austin. Austin has proven that he can win. Ty, he's not good. He's not as good as Austin. I think Verdict should have gone to the 13, but obviously Richard Church was not going to do that. Now moving on to Suarez. A lot of people are saying Suarez should be cut from the 41. I'm saying Suarez should stay in the 41, and here's why I'm saying Suarez should stay in the 41 for Stewart Haas. It's because Suarez's career has started out just like Joey Logano's. And I know people will probably give me angry comments for that one, but here's the reason why I'm saying this. Remember how many seasons did it take for Joey Logano to get his ball rolling? How many seasons in top equipment did it take for him to get his ball rolling? 4 seasons in Joe Gibbs equipment, 1 in Penske equipment. That's 5 years in top equipment in the Cup Series that Joey Logano took to get his ball rolling. He, like Suarez, were shoved into the Cup Series unexpectedly. Well, not really unexpectedly for Joey, because he was told about it way beforehand. But yeah, both were rushed in the Cup Series way before they were ready. Suarez admitted he expected year 3 in the Xfinity Series, maybe a 4th year in Xfinity Series. But he was thrown in because Carl Edwards was like, "I'm retiring, peace out." And way back in 2008, Joey Logano, who just turned 18, who, yeah, he won Kentucky in like his second start in Xfinity, he needed at least 2 years full time in Xfinity before he took over the 20 car. What was wrong with like Joe Gibbs calling up Bobby Labonte, being like, "Hey, can you drive the 20 car for like a couple of seasons before we bring up our up and coming guy?" I think that's what they should have done. I think that's what Joe Gibbs should have done. Call back Bobby Labonte, put him in the 20 car, then you put Logano in the 20 car. And I think that Joe Gibbs probably slaps himself every day for allowing what is now a Cup champion go from his team. Yes, I'm not saying Suarez has the same talent as Joey Logano. I'm just saying his career in the Cup Series is starting out just like Joey Logano's, where it took Logano 5 years to get it going. We're now going into year 4 with Suarez. If I say give him one more year in Stewart Haas equipment. It is kind of funny that Logano and Suarez started out with Gibbs and they both ended up with a Ford team. I find that funny. It's kind of very funny. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. And like we saw that with Chase Elliott. It took Elliott, what, 3 years to get his stuff going? William Byron, it's taken him probably 3 years as well. I mean, year 2, he's shown much more improvement, because he's got Chad Ganassi with him. So, yeah, it's just these fans and team owners need to realize you can't. Every person that gets thrown into the Cup Series after after 1 or 2 good years in Xfinity are not going to immediately perform. Some drivers take time. Like, I look at drivers like food or like meals, and here's why. Some meals, they take a lot less time to get ready, and while other meals, they take time to get ready. And I know that's a shit analogy, but that's what I'm going with here. So yeah, it takes drivers it takes drivers more time to get into a rhythm and perform. We saw it with Logano. We've seen it with Chase Elliott. We are probably gonna see it with Daniel Suarez. I don't want to fully get off his train yet. I don't want to fully get off his train yet. So yes, that is my hot take on this entire thing. Now I want to hear both of yours reactions to my hot take on that subject.
Well, remember, Suarez came from the NASCAR, well, formerly was known as NASCAR Mexico Series, now known as NASCAR Peak Mexico Series, but, well, Suarez will be in that series from 2010, I think? 10 or 11 to 2013, and then moved up to 2014, and spending the next 2 years, and then, like you said, when Carter was retired, he took his ride, all that, blah blah blah. I have to remind you that Suarez is not going to leave Stuart Haas next year. I know everybody was saying speculation about him leaving. Well, the truth of the matter of all that is that's the case. Because we all know about Cole Custer scenario. What's going to be him or Clint Ling, and then yeah. Tell you the truth, I don't see Suarez leaving Stuart Haas next year, anyways.
Cody, what is your reaction to my hot take?
I mean, like, Daniel Suarez, like, I can see his reasoning. Joey Logano and Joe Gibbs Racing. Like, Joe Gibbs Racing and Cup, especially the part-time car, was not a top-tier car. It was probably only a mid-tier car for a while. Like, the 02 that turned into another car, which eventually may or may not have did. I mean, it was a team that really had to get their crap back together that year. And Logano maybe did okay. So, I mean, like, the Logano, he even rushed in the Cup, kind of, but it took him a while to go. And he was a Joe Gibbs full-time in the 20. And Joey did okay. I think he got 1 or 2 wins in there. And he was in the chase for a couple of those times, but he wasn't really a championship contender. Back then, Joe Gibbs Racing wasn't a championship team in the first place. So, other than that, I will say that between Logano and Suarez, Logano on one hand, like, he didn't have a breakout season until 2014, 2015, but 2012 was probably his first good year. And it took him a few years to do that. Like, once he got his first career win, he started to quickly learn the rest of the traits of being, like, a super talented race car driver. And Cup, unlike Suarez, this is his 3rd year. Just like Logano's 3rd full-time year, he got a win. He got into the chase. And he did okay. Suarez, this is his 3rd year in the top-tier team. And with Logano, his first year wasn't really with a top-tier team at all. It was like mid-tier material, which when Joe Gibbs started to rise a little bit with the 3rd car. And team development's a different story. So, I mean, Suarez, I felt like he had his 3 chances. Now, will he really be fired from Stuart Haas is not a guarantee, but I just see it as likely compared to guarantee. But it's like a prediction I have in hand that Suarez will most likely not return to Stuart Haas, and he'll probably end up at like JGT Daugherty or something. So, Suarez, maybe if he gets a win before the end of the season, someone will consider him, or Haas will give him an extension again for another year. give them one more chance to make the playoffs. And hopefully get another win and championship season possibly.
Yeah, well, Logano only got one win in his time with Joe Gibbs. He never made the chase.
I thought he did
But
in 2012.
No, he did not. He probably was close, but yeah. As far as possibly getting ended up at JTG would not be the worst thing. JTG does have Hendrick equipment now, and it would help JTG out with sponsors. But Custer potentially going to the Cup Series. I don't know if this is going to happen, but it was rumored that Custer might get the 32 car and Go Fast will be the secondary team to Stewart Haas Racing. I would honestly like to see Stewart Haas make front row their secondary team, because front row currently have more than one car, and Chase Briscoe, who is probably won't hit cups to maybe like until 2023 probably. I'm just saying, with the way charters are, it's fielding a cup team full time without a charter is basically team suicide. So I think it would be better if Stewart Haas made front row their secondary team. Right now, front row doesn't have. They need sponsors. Right now, the 34 and 38 car front row motorsports are not fully funded. Yeah, they both got sponsors on them, but it's like probably only for half the season. So if Stewart Haas made front row their secondary team, Custer goes to the 38 car, which is, we know it for sure is going to be vacant. And then when Chase Briscoe is ready, perhaps Briscoe takes over from Michael McDowell. Front row would still have a road course driver, because Briscoe is shown that he is good on road courses. So do you think front row being a secondary team for Stewart Haas is better than Go Fast, Cody?
Let's see. Well, let's see. The performances between Go Fast and front row is debatable. You take a look at the standings for the current season, and I believe that the 32 team is like maybe 26 in points, 27th. But I know one thing: Matt Tiff is last place out of all the full timers at 31st. David Reagan's 30th. Michael McDowell. Now I'll go check McDowell real quick, but I think he's in the top 25. I can go check on that one.
Michael McDowell. I think
28th. Oh gosh, this is interesting. So the 4 cars, all from Go Fast and from front row, are all in the bottom 4 in the full-time standings. Like Michael McDowell's 28th, Corey LaJoie's 29th, David Reagan's 30th, and Matt Tiff is 31st. And with LaJoie leaving the team and going over to front row, and possibly attempt to be a little more competitive, I can see Custer getting some okay performances over there next season. And with them just having Custer, maybe they can engage Go Fast like they did with Baggy, whatever, and the Xfinity before they went to a full-out Xfinity team. Basically do a similar thing to Go Fast, and you and have Cole Custer behind the wheel and maybe expand to another car, and that's where they can pick up Briscoe. And more likely than not, it would be 2021, but then even more likely 2022, where I have a second car over for Chase Briscoe, or the next young gun from Stuart Haas Racing, whoever that would be at this point.
Yeah, that does, doing predictions is also fun because you wonder, all right, Xfinity guys go up to Cup, who takes their spot from trucks and whatnot. One driver that is very interesting to watch is Hayley Deegan, simply because of the fact that she has stated she's got nothing solid for 2020. Now, I don't know if that has changed or not, but the last time we heard contract situation with Deegan, it's up in the air. Yeah, Toyota would definitely wants to keep her. That's obvious. But obviously, eyes from Chevy and Ford got their eye on Deegan. So, who's to say maybe 2020 we get either Deegan driving for a Chevy or a Ford team? I would like to see it be Deegan joins the Hendricks system. Like, Kelly Earnhardt and Dale Jr. showed a little bit of hint, hint, nudge, nudge that they would like to grab Deegan and another young driver from the Toyota stable. It's happened before. It can happen again. Byron and Gregson are two drivers that Dale Jr. and Kelly have been able to grab from Toyota. So who knows? Maybe if Rick Hendrick slaps a contract down and helps make that happen. Who knows? You can't really. How can you say no to Hendrick in that situation? What do you think about that, Cody?
I mean, there's probably some guys that they can more likely get into their truck, even if they would do it full-time next season, because as of right now, they're probably only doing it in a part-time basis. But say if they do it somehow on a full-time basis, I more likely see them picking up either Jeb Burton or Zane Smith than Hayley Deegan. Why? Because Smith did okay in the Xfinity Series. So I'm sure if you put him in trucks in the same level of equipment, he could be winning races and could be a heavy contender for the Truck Championship. Unlike Jeb Burton, may be one of those next drivers that deserve a second chance in NASCAR. But Jeb Burton, I can realistically see him go over to GMS instead of Junior next season in trucks if it comes down to it. Where Hayley Deegan would go, I most likely see her going to either JGR Crosley or Kyle Busch Motorsports if it's in an extreme scenario. Because I'm pretty sure that despite she says she wants to run part-time in trucks next season, I'll heavily doubt that will be the case, and that she'll probably end up making a Truck Series debut this fall. That's my prediction. She makes her debut this fall. Either that's with JGR Crosley or Kyle Busch Motorsports. Whichever team it is, she'll end up making her debut for the team to see if they'll sign her to a full-time ride over at KBM or JGR Crosley. Now, somebody with the CR from Toyota will most likely be at Xfinity or Cup, because I can see another driver being taken from the Toyota camp to go to Junior, and that'd be Brandon Jones. Don't get me wrong, Jones done okay in Xfinity, but knowing that Jones, this is his 4th or 5th year in Xfinity, makes me think, with the current timeline we have, is he going to become an Xfinity veteran? Because he hasn't even been considered the Cup rides next year, which makes me think, next year would be his make or break season and to attempting to get in the cup in his future. Because say if he fails next year, then we might never see Brandon Jones go to cup, and he would become the next Justin Allgaier or next Michael Annette and end up going to Junior Motorsports, because that's what Ben Junior's team been full of, seasoned Xfinity veterans. So I wouldn't be shocked if Junior goes and takes Brandon Jones from Toyota stable next year, and probably he gets a fourth full-time car.
Yeah, Deacon, like I said, I fully expect probably at the end of this, before this season's over or next season, that Deacon will probably be in a truck. If it's for DJR Crosley, oh, I pray for Natalie Decker, because the fans will be relentless. Oh yeah, that's kind of the reason why I don't want her to go to Deacon to go to DJR Crosley for that reason. Yeah, but if Deacon does go to DJR Crosley, like I said, that will immediately that will immediately unleash the fans, the not actual fans, but the quote fans, that go far beyond criticizing and do and say way worse things. They will probably say those things to Decker if Deacon is in a DGR Crosley truck. But yeah, also my opinion on Decker, yeah, she's not ready for trucks. She was not ready for trucks. I fully agree with that. But I think perhaps we should let her have a couple more seasons before we slap on all of every single name you want to in the book you want to throw at her. Yeah, I think obviously Decker needs more time in the trucks. Please, David Gitlin, give Decker more time in the trucks before you do anything else. Don't. It's pretty much a situation with Decker. Don't make the situation worse. Like, either drop her down or just keep her where she's at. That's what I think about Decker. What is your opinion on Decker since I've started the subject?
Decker, oh god. Decker has done a couple of okay races this season, but again, there's been other races where she probably needs more practice before attempting a full-time campaign. Do I think she should compete full-time? No. After the performances I've seen from Decker, it'd be better for her to go to a part-time ride in trucks again until she knows how to really race in a competitive truck. It's like she proved to be okay in ARCA and pretty good in K&N, but trucks is a whole another level to National Series. So I won't be shocked if Decker gets sent to another part-time year in trucks before even making a championship run, per se.
Yeah, I think that would be the best course of action to take. Like I said, don't make the situation worse. Obviously, David Gillen needs sponsorship. I think two of his trucks are just sponsored by his co-owner. So it's basically a Stuart Haas racing situation down there with that team, where the co-owner puts their company on the trucks. But yeah, some another prediction that I've been thinking about is obviously Austin Cindric. People been wondering, is he gonna take over the 21 next year? Is Matt DiBenedetto in another situation like he is this year? Is he in another seat warmer ride next year? Is Cindric going to take over for 2021? I hope that does not happen because that Cindric is another Decker situation. Yes, Cindric is better and he's won, but he's got a lot more hatred on him like Decker than there is actually fans. Um, yeah, and Matty D right now is the number one fan favorite driver. I fully believe in NASCAR, and if he doesn't get the fan favorite driver of the year at the awards banquet, then I'm calling rigged. But yeah, if Matt Benedetto is in another seat warming ride for another driver, especially if it's Austin Cindric, oh my, that the fans will explode because this is the dude who has proven if you give him a top 15 car, he can turn it into top 10, top 5, maybe a win, especially if it's a very good car. Because, like, no disrespect to Paul Menard, the guy is middle of the pack driver. Yes, he's won in Xfinity. He could probably get on an Xfinity. He could probably make a run at the Xfinity Championship if he ran full time in Xfinity again. But yeah, because I think he's just one of those dudes who does more. He does better in Xfinity. But the 21 car is a Penske car. It is a full on. Well, I'm not gonna say like same level Penske car like the other three, but it is a Penske car. It's no, it's much better than what he's currently driving. The Benedetto is driving year-old Gibbs cars. The 21 car is basically just second-tier Penske cars. Those cars are probably newer, a lot newer, and the Benedetto I feel like is gonna win. He is gonna win in the 21 car. I'm not gonna guarantee it, but I'm 99% sure I'm not gonna go full 100%. But yeah, Menards is not signed to that 21 car for 2021, and that makes me worried that Cindric is gonna get that 21 car potentially. Oh boy, what would your reaction to that be?
So 2021's a crazy situation because we already had rumors about Cindric even replacing Keselowski after this season due to sponsorship. And I was actually wondering if Cindric, aka Tim Cindric, will place Cindric in the Cup and now to replace Ryan Blaney after this season. Because if you take a look at the performances by the three drivers, the one who has been the weakest so far is Blaney, and the best case scenario for them was to have Paul Menard replaced. But now, the Benedetto's taken that spot, so now it comes down to the question, will Cindric be in Xfinity for one more year? Realistically, that would be a yes. But say if Tim Cindric tries to pull something funny, he can try to boot Blaney out. Because Keselowski's good on sponsors. Like, there's no worry about that. Now, what it comes down to is the fact that, it comes down to the fact that what Cindric will do, how desperate will he be to put Cindric in Cup?
Yeah, that has been my worry. What is Tim gonna do to put Austin in a Cup car? And I'd like to think Roger Penske has majority control over his own team. I fully believe that, and I think if it's something that Roger doesn't want, it's not gonna happen. Like, the only way something happens on Team Penske that Roger doesn't like is if he's not there, if he's not alive. And yeah, I think I don't see Penske I don't see Roger Penske booting Brad Keselowski. Brad he's the champion. I think the Miller Lite folks like him. I don't see him getting rid of Ryan Blaney. That's another story. But Ryan Blaney, he's made the chase the last couple of his first 2 seasons in the 12 car. He won last season. So, yes, he's gotten off to a slow start in the 12, but I don't think Ryan Blaney is in a hot seat, a situation where he's got to win or he's gone. So yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I think if Cindric moves up, it might be to a fourth Penske car, and where they get the charter for that, who knows? But yeah, that is what I think.
Yeah, got to agree with that.
Yes, and I, something I just remembered: if Matt DiBenedetto gets multiple wins next season, and Eric Jones gets a goose egg, or just one, what do you think the reaction to that Joe Gibbs and Toyota are going to have if that happens? If DiBenedetto shoots off like a rocket, like Logano did, and wins a handful of races, what do you think? How do you think that would make Gibbs and Toyota look?
Now, okay, so, say if the Benedetto wins, I say that could put Joe Gibbs in a particular situation and might have to boost the 95 team up even more. But then comes the situation of trying to treat them like Furniture Row. Because it'll happen with Truex. So that's where it gets me worried.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the Benedetto shoots off and wins races this season. I'm talking about next season, like in the 21 car, because Gibbs and Toyota, they chose Eric Jones over Matt DiBenedetto because Christopher Bell was coming up to the Cup Series, like regardless of who he was taking over, whose seat he was taking. So it was Jones or DiBenedetto that gets cut, and that's why I said, like, if DiBenedetto takes off like a rocket, I was referring to next season in the 21 car, while Jones continues to be stagnant. How would that make Joe Gibbs in Toyota look if DiBenedetto takes off next year and wins several races?
I mean, that would put Joe Gibbs in a situation to where they basically made a bad decision, basically bad luck on their end, and maybe drivers are better with other manufacturers, and that would make Toyota even more untrustworthy in Cup than they are now. Because like Joe Gibbs trying to take over as we need to make Toyota great again, but not going to happen at this rate. So beginning to be slightly nervous, especially for Gibbs at this point, because this can be a decline if the Benedetto does well.
Yeah, this is why I'm not as highly critical of Toyota as a lot of people. A lot of NASCAR fans are. You know, with NASCAR fans that say, "Oh, Toyota is complete shit. They should never have been in NASCAR." I'm not in that mindset. Yeah, Toyota is scummy. Like they've shown they can do scummy things. But the reason why I don't think they should be kicked out of NASCAR is because the more manufacturers is the better. And yeah, Toyota is not American. Oh no, but it's really expensive for a manufacturer to be in NASCAR. And General Motors and Ford, they're not going to put a second manufacturer that they own in NASCAR because it's that much more damn expensive. And people are like, "Oh, Dodge got replaced by Toyota." Well, guess what? Yes, Dodge should be back in NASCAR. I miss Dodge. I like the Dodge Challenger, but Dodge isn't exactly fully American anymore. They're owned by Italians over there at Fiat. So more manufacturers is the better when it comes to that end. Um, so yeah, I really think one part that I am critical of Toyota for is the fact that they kind of basically just they went full on with Joe Gibbs, and when they had multiple teams at the time, when they had Michael Waltrip Racing, when they had Red Bull, and Bill Davis Racing, the three teams that jumped with them in 2007. Joe Gibbs did not jump with them originally, but guess what? They get Joe Gibbs. Yes, Gibbs was a much better team than Red Bull, Michael Waltrip, and Bill Davis. But Toyota showed in 2008 that they got no fucking loyalty. Yeah, I apologize for swearing, but you know what? I don't care. Toyota showed right there they don't got no loyalty, and what I mean by that is, you really think Toyota gave Michael Waltrip, Red Bull, and Bill Davis in 2008 onwards their full 100% support? Hell to the no. When Joe Gibbs showed up at Toyota's door, most of that support was going to Joe Gibbs because they had proven themselves. And the teams that stood by Toyota in 2007 are like, we are bold enough to stand by you and make this work. They got shafted, and as the years went by, it became clearly obvious that Toyota is shafting Waltrip, Red Bull, and Bill Davis. And obviously Bill Davis had shut down because of financial problems, but Red Bull and Michael Waltrip Racing were still there up until like 2012, in 2015. They clearly got shafted by Toyota. Like I said, Toyota had no fucking loyalty to those two teams. As soon as they got a big team, they shafted the ones that joined them on this ship to start their NASCAR program. Toyota literally pushed all of their originals off the ship and then shot them in the water when they got Joe Gibbs on board that ship. And now Toyota has put themselves in a problem situation. They got no open rides in Cup. It's probably not going to change. I know, and this is the reason why I worry for any new driver that joins the Toyota system, the top Toyota system. When you get to Cup, where are you gonna go? You're not gonna stay with Toyota. And here's the thing: Levine Family Racing, yeah, they're one car. They are probably gonna be one car by the time Deegan gets up there. I don't see Levine Family Racing able to expand to the second car by like 2023 or 2024 when Deegan is ready to go up. No. And I don't see any of the main Gibbs guys getting cut. Ironically, that if you were to put a current Gibbs driver on the hot seat, by the time Deegan's ready, it would be, funny enough, Eric Jones. So Eric Jones, yeah, he got a life preserver. But when Deegan's ready, or when the next, or when Christian Eckes or someone, is getting ready to go to Cup, Jones is once again on that hot seat. Because I don't see Truex, Busch, Hamlin, or Christopher Bell getting cut when Deegan and Christian Eckes or Riley Herbst are all ready. And I don't see the Fine Family Racing expanding to a second car because they financially struggling. Not that bad, but they desperate need of sponsors up there. And once again, the charter system is screwing over every single Cup team when it comes to expanding. Where are you going to get another charter? Right now, all the charters are taken. And like the only charter that I could see a big team getting is from Premium Motorsports. They currently got two. They got the 15 and the 77. Yes, I know that is run under that's Spire Motorsports, but Spire uses everything from Premium. So, and I don't see Premium or Spire letting go of that charter, or Rick Witt Racing letting go one of their charters, because charter teams get like 80% of the race winning purse, while the non-charter teams get 20. That's why I say running a full-time non-chartered Cup team is suicide, because you're not going to make anything from it. And all the big teams, they're not going to make anything from it. The charter system is screwing not only the small teams, it's screwing the big teams. I know that's a rant. That's like my fourth rant in this. Cody, your take.
Oh, dang. I didn't see that you were probably gonna go with this rate at all. This rant, sheesh. But, the way I see it right now, it basically comes down to a lot of things. Basically comes down to those yeah, like the charter systems, like another thing that screw on with NASCAR. The first thing they screwed on with teams with is the 4-car rule. There, I know we started it early in the show, but the whole thing about charters and like team sizes, it's just getting worse and worse in the years, and NASCAR needs to allow teams to bring back 5 to 6 car teams, because Roush Fenway used to be dominant that way, and now they aren't anymore. And then you see teams like, I don't know, somebody like trying to think of the teams, like, you know, like Hendrick and Joe Gibbs, they want a 5th car. They kind of have interest in going to a 5th car full time, and they can't because of this rule, therefore knocking out opportunities for more drivers. They're Joe Gibbs, as I said, one of the teams that wanted to extend to 5 cars. That could be easy to put Christopher Bill or Brandon Jones in the car. So, I mean, they need to go and tell NASCAR that they need to bring some of the old rules back and undo what could have been damage to sponsorship, to teams themselves. I mean, why NASCAR's been on a whole decline lately is because of major rule changes.
Yeah, the 5th car definitely started the downfall of the Cup Series when it comes to like actual cars. But to play devil's advocate for NASCAR, at the time in 2009, there was a lot more good teams. Well, you know, good and like B-level teams out there, and you know, if you know the big teams are allowed 5 cars or 6 cars, yeah, that does, on paper that's like, yes, that would be fine. But there has to be definitely be a limit, because if it's just 4 teams having all the cars, then like, what good is that to a new team that's like, well, shit. So yeah, I understand there definitely needs to be a limit. I would say 5 it should be the limit. And like, and if we could go back in fantasy and like and do a little bit of fantasy, if the 5th car rule was never abolished and the limit was hard set on 5, Radek Keselowski would be in a Hendrick car right now, and he would, and when Team Penske won in 2012, that would have been Brad winning in a Hendrick car. So Hendrick would have had 5 championships in a row. Technically 7 if you count Tony Stewart, also in a Hendrick car, but under his team. So the Hendrick dominance wouldn't have stopped at 5. It would have been to 7, counting Tony Stewart at his team. Yeah, Brad would be in the 25 car right now for Hendrick Motorsports if the 5th car rule was never abolished. Damon McMurray would have never left Roush. That wouldn't have been an issue. Roush would probably have one or more car. Well, actually, Roush not having sponsors is kind of their fault. Um, but yeah, Matt DiBenedetto would not be going to the 21 car next year. He would be in the 95. Christopher Bell would be in the 5th Gibbs car under their name. Chris Buescher would probably be on the main Hendrick team soon or whatever. But yeah, the 5th car will definitely, I agree, should come back. The team cap should be 5 cars. I'm not saying 6 because you got to put a limit somewhere. I say 5. 5 is the limit. Like I'll give these teams a full hand to have in the Cup Series. Not more than 5. So, but yeah, we've been going for 1 hour and 20 minutes. About to be 1 hour and 21 minutes. I think this is long enough. Yes, I did not get the season 4 race points fully done, but I got like 29 of them done, and I can confirm Addison Steinbach is still our points leader, and that's kind of pretty much what is the main, answer of race, of the race standing. So it's been, yeah, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Thank you, Cody Smart, for joining me.
Okay.
And for anyone who has been wondering for the past half an hour, where the hell has Jay Durrell been? Well, Jay Durrell left. He went to watch an Aussie race. I know it's kind of sad that he probably couldn't watch that Aussie race on mute on his television, but still being here. But you know what? That's fine. Fitz, you're still one of my best friends. Yeah. So thank you all for joining me. Yeah, this was fun. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Fitz, when you rewatch this probably. And for anyone who watches this afterwards, thank you. But also, comment on what you thought our thoughts were on. I want this to be engaging because this is fun. This is really fun. So yeah, thank you all for joining me. Steinbach, you're still the points leader after race 4 of the Samsung Cup Series Season 4. Thank you all. Goodbye. See you next time for Martinsville.